What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Cheap Sense here, and I have been tagged. Tagged by who, you might ask? This guy. This is Darren, the bow tie fragrance guy. And he loves to look good and smell great while doing it. He tagged me in this video 12 designer fragrances, one for each month, and we're going by seasons. So winter, spring, summer, and fall. And I am more than eager to do this video. He actually messaged me last night about it, and swift getting back to him, I'm doing it the next day. So here we go, y'all. Let's get into it. This may be a little lengthy video, so I apologize if I'm not like everybody else and I don't have all this fancy stuff flipping and falling and confetti and glitter and all this kind of stuff going on in the background to keep you guys' attention. So if you don't watch the video fully through, I understand. But here we go. So first off, January. It is still in the winter months, and I went with something that was gonna be in between, not heavy and not too light, because January, February is really when it starts trying to warm up a little to roll into spring. So the first one I went with in January is Liza de Guerlain Pour Homme. And this is Eau de Parfum concentration. And what do I get from this? Scent-wise, bergamot, lemon, elemi, pepper, star anise, jasmine, tea, smoke, sandalwood, cacao pod, and patchouli. And when this dries down, I just get a woody, very nice woody fragrance with that sweetness from the cacao pod in this. Very nice fragrance. I didn't get any compliments from any females when I wore this to the hospital when I was still there. But an older coworker of mine smelled it on me, never complimented me on anything I've ever worn except this one. And he's one of them guys that, just like most people, they say, hey man, I'm gonna give you some money and get you to get that for me. Or, hey man, hold on to that, man. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get it from you. And he never, so you know how that goes. Anyway, that's January. February, this fragrance I actually feel can be in spring also. I looked the note breakdown up on this and it didn't give me a specific time of year, but the notes themselves gave me the notion that this could be a spring time type fragrance. I think this is a little bit too strong, maybe for summer, but it's a very nice fragrance. It's Middle Eastern. It's from the house of Nabil. This is Marble. And this one is in no correlation with Creed Aventus, so please don't think that when I read these notes off, because it does share some similar notes to Creed Aventus. This has lemon, bergamot, blackcurrant, apple, pineapple, rose, oud, coriander, myrrh, jasmine, patchouli, birch, juniper, musk, leather, mosses, tree moss, amber, and vanilla berries. And the birch, blackcurrant, apple, pineapple are the things I was mentioning that are in Creed Aventus. So this does not smell like Aventus, period. It just smells like one of those Middle Eastern type fragrances that you walk past or go into one of those bodegas and those guys be having on that good strong cologne that lasts 4 or 5 days. That's what you get when you're wearing this. So that's February. Now, starting to roll over into spring in March, I went with Valentino Aqua. Nobody really talks about this fragrance. They always talk about the intense version, the Uomo Intense, or the just regular Uomo. This is a nice fragrance. This one is considered to be a spring and summertime type fragrance, but I stuck it in March because March is still a little bit cool. So I think this would be better off in spring than it would in summer. But the note breakdown is it has mandarin, green tomatoes, patchouli, leather, and iris. And the green tomatoes part is what I didn't pick up on. I do pick up the DNA of the iris, which is in most Valentino products. I do get some leather. The patchouli is there. I don't really pick up the mandarin, but that's just my nose, and it's not trained to pick up every single thing. So that's March. April, I'm going with Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. And this fragrance is one that is like none other in my collection. I have nothing that smells anything remotely like this, which is why I love this so much. And it's not because George is a wonderful person or that he gifted me and several other reviewers these fragrances, but this really is a signature scent. This is considered to be a fragrance from me, a all-around fragrance. It can be worn any time of year, day or night. And the note breakdown is as follows. Argyre wood, which is oud, patchouli, sandalwood, rose, incense, myrrh, jasmine, vetiver, vanilla, lavender, black pepper, and cypress. Those are just the notes I got from Fragrantica. So if I left out any notes, George, and you see this video, I apologize for that. So Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. Rounding off the spring months, we're rolling into May. And this one has a note of honey in it. And that is what turns this fragrance so elegant and so beautiful to me. And I think it fits better in spring when it's still cool and not the summer months, because that honey that's in this. But Cartier de Linval, this is EDT, has citrus, gaiac wood, juice, musk, and honey. This is a very, very nice fragrance. I don't see a lot of people talking about this these days. Why? I don't know. I guess it's because of the popularity contest that's going on, and people only want to see and hear about, you know, certain other fragrances. But over here, we give you something different than the norm, and this is on the list. So that rounds out spring. Rolling into summer. This is the month where people start to travel. They start to vacation. They start to have fun doing things. They're outdoors. So you want to be bright. You want to be citrusy. You want to have on something that's not so heavy, that's going to feel like it's weighing you down. And the first one I went with for June is Cartier Declaration Fresh. And this one is very, very nice. This has bergamot, coriander, cardamom, cumin, cedar, and vetiver. And man, oh man, nice atomizer. Fresh, bright, crisp, perfect for when it's hot outside. You spray this. You can even stick this in your refrigerator and let it get cool, and you hit yourself with it. It is so refreshing. So that is June. Cartier Declaration Fresh. July, I went with Imperial No. 4, which is one I never hear anybody talk about except me, and I haven't mentioned it too often. From the House of Imperial, this is Imperial No. 4 once again. This one is said to be close resemblance to Tom Ford's Costa Azzurra. And this has juniper, grass, green notes, oak, sandalwood, oak juniper, and herbs, or herbs, however you want to say it. very citrusy, bright type fragrance. Oh, it's so crisp, it's clean, it's smooth. It smells so good. I wore this a couple of times. I did get a few compliments. I love this fragrance, and I need to find me a backup bottle of this so I can start wearing it more. But this is a very nice fragrance. If you haven't gotten your nose on this one, I think you can pick it up for around maybe $40, $45 online. Do not let people sucker you into paying $60, $65 and up for this. They're very nice fragrances, but if you can get them for $45 online, why pay that extra money for it? Imperial number 4. This is one I've mentioned before. This one goes into August, to where it actually starting to roll into fall a little bit, but it's still warm outside. This is one I've never really talked about that much. It's probably my most expensive fragrance, period. This one cost like $200. And this is Albertash Concepts number 1. And this bottle is amazing. Now, this doesn't click into place. It just snug fit, but it looks very nice. Has like some kind of medallion on the inside of this plastic or plexiglass or whatever it's supposed to be. Very nice fragrance. Middle Eastern, so you get that oil concentration from it. It smells so amazing. Y'all just don't understand how amazing it smells if you've never gotten your nose on this. And I understand why some people haven't, because of the price tag. I actually didn't spend my hard-earned money for this. I spent somebody else's, which was a young lady I was dating at the time, and she was generous enough to buy this for me because she knew I liked fragrances. So with that being said, this is a all-season type fragrance. It has notes of rose, grapefruit, musk, lily of the valley, sandalwood, amber, cedar, and patchouli. Very, very nice fragrance. I know it's a little steep for some people. I know my name is Mr. Cheap Sense, but like I said, I didn't pay for this. Somebody else did. But I'm glad they did get this for me because this is a banger, especially for the summer. I would also wear this in the springtime too. Fall and winter, when it's cold, you can, but I would much rather not. But that rounds out summer. Now we're rolling into fall. September and October. So the first one I'm going with from the house of Cartier, and there's a lot of Cartier on this list. This is Santos de Cartier, and this is my barbershop fragrance. This thing smells so good. It smells like you just got a fresh cut and you walked out of the barbershop and you're looking so fresh and so clean, like Darren back there. Very nice fragrance. What do you get from this? You get galbanum, you get carnation, neroli, patchouli, and sandalwood. This is a nice, I like barbershop fragrances. Some of them are a little bit too much for me. Some of them don't really give me a barbershop vibe. This gives me exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to a barbershop fragrance. Inexpensive. You can find this at discounters. Check that out. Santos de Cartier. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about this one. This rolls into October, which is actually supposedly the end of fall. This is from the house of Bulgari. This is Bulgari's Man in Black. And I haven't smelled the Oriental one, but out of the ones that I have, this is my favorite. This thing has that sweetness to it. It has that booziness to it. It's superb in my opinion. You get a sweet, boozy, leather, and iris type fragrance. You do pick up that iris kind of note, but man, this is so nice. This is peppery. It's boozy. Not much more you can say about this fragrance. I like this also, and I need to try to find a backup bottle of this one too. Next up, we're going into November and December. When it starts getting cold, it is now winter. Winter is when you want to wear those heavy, those tobacco, boozy, leathery type scents. I could have went several different routes, but I chose to go this route because one of these is one of my absolute favorites for the cold weather. And the other one I have worn once. Not a lot of people talk about. I know it's discontinued, but for November, I went with, from the house of Versace Man. And like I said, this is discontinued. But I was lucky enough to get this from a subscriber. I think I did a trade from a guy that was down in Miami, I believe. He said it was too hot in Miami to be wearing something like this. It never really gets cold. And I traded him for something. I can't remember what it was, but I'm glad I got it. And as you can see, I've only used it once. He may have used it a few times, but it's still pretty full. And what do you get from this fragrance? You get neroli, bergamot, angelica, saffron, cardamom, labdanum, cashmere, and tobacco. And all I get is a tobacco type fragrance. Very strong, very masculine. I think this is actually a well-blended fragrance, and I don't understand why it's discontinued. It didn't do well, I'm assuming. I don't know. But I'm glad to have it. So that is November. And rounding this thing off, in the month of December, I went with, from the house of Bentley for Men Intense. I love this fragrance. This thing is boozy. Oh, it is so boozy, leathery. I didn't even write the notes down on this because a lot of people already know what this is about. This is a man scent, a grown man scent. If you are not into strong, long-lasting fragrances like this, then don't even waste your time getting it. But this is the one for people with hair on their chest. This ain't for somebody who shaves and waxes their chest and thinks they're a man. This is for them grown men that got that rolled up knotty hair on their chest. That's what this is. So I hope this list gave you guys some ideas on what to wear in the spring, summer, fall, and winter. And hopefully I gave you options different than the normal options. So with that being said, thank you once again, Darren, for tagging me in this video. I am going to tag two people. I am going to tag Trey Scents, and I'm going to tag Sam Broom. And if you guys have already done a list like this before, then of course you don't have to do it. But if you haven't, please take the time to do the list. I don't know how long it's going to take you all to do it, but as you can see, I did mine the next day, not rushing you guys, but that's just how I roll. So thank you once again, Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy, for tagging me. Anytime you want to do a collab with me, my friend, anytime you want me to be tagged in a video, all you have to do is reach out and let me know ahead of time so I can prepare for it. Anybody else in Fragcom that wants to do a collab or, you know, tag me in a video, don't think that I'm above being tagged, because I'm not. I'm always willing. I may not be able to do it during the week, but the weekends when I'm off, I'm always free. So with that being said, y'all, here is To Smelling Great. Peace.